Hey guys, welcome back. Matt the Cruz here from Network Empire, and very excited to walk you guys through this case study that we've done over the last 6 weeks. Probably, yeah. Started at mid-October. For those who don't know me, Matt the Cruz from Network Empire. We've been building technology for a very long time, since 2011, especially for digital marketers, and it's been a wonderful journey. So in this workshop today, it's going to be broken up into 3 parts, just to keep you guys time short, so they're nice and short and sweet. But there's going to be 3 layers of important information that we're going to be speaking to you about through these workshops. And I hope you enjoy this case study as I walk you through the 10-click work week, where I show you what I did in DMT. And in the slide deck, I'll be running through the slides. I won't be jumping to DMT, maybe at the end. But it's more about the process, the pages I clicked on, the things I did, and what was the outcomes. And then what can you do with this, which is the important part. So obviously when you deploy a website, there are certain things you can do. And what we decided to do in these 3 workshops is simply help you guys see the different layers, the different stages, and then let you know what is possible. And for our paid members, obviously, there's going to be another secret webinar that's coming with a very powerful method. And that's more for the guys that are subscribed at Network Empire. So guys, welcome, and I hope you enjoy this workshop. This is a technical foundation workshop. It's going to be focused on the search engines as well as LLMs. It's going to be focused on website silo structure, how you can use it to your advantage, how you can use it the ways other people don't use it. We're going to introduce you to the Octo Super Silo method today as well in this workshop. Octo, think octopus, many arms, the silos, the tentacles, and how we can use it for lead generation. So let's get started. I'm going to just work my way through the slide decks, and then as we go through this process, we'll go through stage 1. I'll explain what I did. Then I'll end the video, and then the next video we'll go through the Octo Super Funnel, explain it, how you build this on top of your silo structure that you deployed. And in this case study we're looking at today, it's only going to be what's happened since we took the stuff out of DMT GALAXIS and we deployed it, put it live, and we've watched what happened for 6 weeks. So we've not really touched the content, and the only things we worked on was the anchors and the site navigation. Okay, so let's get stuck right in, because I know your time is valuable, and this won't be one of my favorite 3-hour long webinars. This is concise and swift because I want you guys to really get to grips of where the workflow works with the 10-click work week using Digital Marketers Toolbox, and how it saves me 100 hours of time. So let's get started. Okay, so the very first thing we want to do is look at what we're dealing with. So we're dealing with building semantic clusters. And what is a semantic cluster? A semantic cluster is where every single page has a knowledge graph. It has a schema, it has its content, and it has its meta title, has its page. It's a complete page, but it's also interlinked using internal linking structure. So I want you to slow down and just ask yourself a question. How long will it take me to do the keyword research, then select the keywords, then map out the site structure that I want to build, then create the content, then optimize that content in the SEO and the meta titles for each page, then create your schema per page, go to WordPress, create a page for each of the pages in your website, create all the pages, add all the content, do all your internal linking, add your media, then go take all your schema you created and add that as well, and then ensure that that page is valid. Then promote it to the social media channels that you have. How long do you think that'll take you to do all of that if you build a 1,000-page website? So in this case study today, we basically deployed a page that was 1,044 pages. And this is the image that you can see over here of what GALAXIS built for us. Okay, so when we talk about semantic clusters, for every silo we have all our categories, and all our categories have our topics of relevance around it. All right. So this is what GALAXIS does for us in a very, very, very quick time, a very structured way, and built on solid SEO principles that work. Okay, I've been ranking these things for years. So when we come to a project, we're always going to start with the end in the mind. And obviously, if you're going to do some work, you want to see your efforts justified. You want to see a return on your efforts. You don't have your time wasted with new tricks and new little one-horse pony things. I've seen so many of them over the last 20 years in this game, and A lot of this stuff works for a day, then it doesn't work for another day. You want a system that is a framework that you can build upon, that is solid and it works. Okay. Do you get growth? So when you deploy your sites, do they stay indexed or do they stop? Do you get impressions? Do you get clicks? What actually happens when you deploy your stuff and you push it live, even with all the tricks? Okay. So GALAXIS DMT, I built it because time is important to me. And I know that every hour I sit, I can be doing something else that's going to make me money. Okay. So I can't carry on just wasting time and in fiddling. And to build a 1,000-page website to compete in a competitive market, you're talking a lot of hours. You guys can do the math for yourself. And if you can do it faster, even if you are using LLMs and things, then that's awesome. But for the most people, most businesses, it's something they never know about. So what's the cause and effect of when we deploy a GALAXIS build? So this image you see is cropped here, but basically this is the time that we deployed it in October. Turn it on, and you can see the effect. Impressions, rankings, everything moved very, very quickly. The visibility across the keywords spiked very, very quickly. What was the effect? So I took this about 2 weeks back. We had 516 keywords in position 1, 2, 3, 343, 4010, 256, 11 to 20. I only track the top 20 pages. I don't watch the other keywords that are sitting outside of the top 20. I just want to see where they are and what I need to move on and work on. GALAXIS created me 37,000 internal links with this build. So we've done no backlinks on this thing. And you can see over the last 3 months, we've increased the traffic by 62% of clicks, and the impressions have shot up by 35%. Yesterday, I took another snapshot just to see where the keywords are. We now got 611, so you can see from 516 to 611. This is literally a week later, 331, 343, 238, 256. So many of the keywords have shifted up here into the traffic channels. All right. So if we look at this from the last 16 months, we were on average position 53. We deployed GALAXIS, the build, and you can see we were on 51, and now we're on average 29. So from that build, we've basically jumped all those ways up. CTR will jump around because we're still working on the site, and we still have to work on the octa-funnel super methods I'm going to be talking to you today. But this is just to show you what GALAXIS does for a website and how it just starts dominating and swallowing up the market whole. All right, so here you can see indexation. Many guys have tried many bulk building plugins. I get asked many times, is this a bulk mass generation website builder? No, it's not. It's building your semantic cluster, building your website for your business, a framework where you can generate leads and traffic and they stick. So if you look at when we took the last snapshot, we had 753 pages indexed. On the next crawl, we now have got 826 pages indexed, no drop off. The de-indexing that you're seeing are RSS feeds that are doing 301 redirects to the page that the feed is on. You don't need to have RSS feeds on posts. So you can see here on crawled and not indexed. Now going one more. You can see how it's found those feed pages and there that the next crawl is increased, and it's all feeds. All right. So when we get one page that's not indexed, we're going to have a look, is there a problem? If not, we just have to go back in. So no brain damage done there. But what's great about this whole system is the SERPs react very, very well to this. So our traffic's gone up, our impressions are climbing up. And as we're getting in closer to this, we're getting closer into the traffic zones. This is where we start generating more leads and traffics. So you can see there the search engines have really liked what we've done. So why does the 10-click work week work? Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to look at the process, and I'm going to explain to you what I do when I build a semantic cluster. And it's not a complex, hard thing. GALAXIS does most of the heavy lifting for us. Okay, so when we log into Digital Marketer's Toolbox, the first thing I want to do before I start a business or a project is what am I working on? What is the goals and what are the needs? And I fill in this form. Once I fill in that form, GALAXIS will come back with what it thinks. I fine-tune that information and I press submit. When it's finished doing my work, my project will come back as a blueprint. I'll click on this blueprint. I'll open it up, and a blueprint is basically this folder here, and that contains all my information. When I open it up, and I've actually gone through my blueprint and open it up, GALAXIS has mapped out a whole website here for me. It's done all my market research for me. I know all the keywords, the clusters, everything's done and dusted for us. All I need to do is go down to number site structure and start choosing my keywords once I know what's going on. So I come in here, and all I do is I add my custom keywords that I want in my blueprint at the silo level. I then go to the keyword grid, and I add different keywords that I want in between what GALAXIS has built. What this does is at the bottom of our keyword grids, we get to see where the money and the traffic flows. So based on the keyword research GALAXIS has done for us, we can see where the traffic flows. So if we look at how to build a website, we are looking at 74,000 searches a month, 22 potentially clicks. That's potentially 1,000 conversions. So if I focus on dominating how to build a website, I could potentially bring in 1,000 customers. That means $2 million to the business based on the funnel settings. So when we build websites, we follow the money. Where's the money and how do we follow it, right? And we blend these keywords into what GALAXIS has built to us, into our framework. Once we delete what we're not interested in and we've added what we want, we can then proceed to number 7, where we do all our AI content. And what's great about this screen and why I love it is it does 2 very difficult tasks. 1 is content generation, that is persona based, and then 2, the SEO for the meta and the descriptions, and then 3, all the schema. These are things that take a lot of time, and everybody knows generating schema is painful, and people probably give up after 100 pages. What's great about GALAXIS is GALAXIS exists in 2 worlds. So when we see the keywords on the right, this is the human world. This is where we do our on-page copy and our meta and our SEO. And on the left, where we see the little cube, this is the schema generator. And what's great about that is once I've gone into GALAXIS and I've just told GALAXIS, okay, cool, GALAXIS, do my SEO, I just click one button and it'll do it for the entire site, whether it's 1 page or 100 or 1,000 pages. I then go and say GALAXIS, build all my content, and it builds all my content. I then go GALAXIS, append all the content to the blueprint, and it'll take all the content that is created in our library, and I'll drop it in here. And then I can go to say, okay, cool, GALAXIS, generate all my schema. So when GALAXIS generates the schema, I can click on any cube, and all I do is I say all pages, web page, all pages, generate, and GALAXIS will go write schema for every single page at the silo level. I can then come in page by page and I can turn things on and off that I want for specific pages. And the same process applies to the category level and the post level. So if you've got 1,000 pages, literally within 5 minutes, I showed this to Pat the other day and he was like, what? Patrick Tuttle from Ranking Factory. And we generated all the schema perfectly for the entire site. So once that's done, I simply go out and export my XML. This will build my website in WordPress. I generate my content plan because that gives me all my keywords and everything I need for the whole year. I can decide what I want to do with that. I can give it to an LLM. I can do anything I want with this. Once in WordPress, I install the WP Silo Website Builder. That's one of Network Empire's plugins. It's the original website silo builder that's worked the best from its inception in 2011. Jeffrey Smith and myself created this plugin many years ago. And we've continued to develop this. And it consists of the silo importer, which imports our blueprint. So all we do is we leave these settings as they are. Draft, add silo on the body, browse, press submit, and import your site in. So guys, when you guys are using the W Silo plugin and you're importing blueprints from DMT, what's very important to remember is your file upload size and your post size. So and your post timeout there. You must make it at least 300 for timeouts in your PHP settings. And your file upload size and your post size should be at least 20 megs just to cater to big blueprints. If you're on shared hosting, you're going to have to contact support and ask them to just temporarily update those settings so you can import your blueprint and then have it come in, because what happens every day is those settings get set back to the default, which is typically, I think, 90 seconds on shared hosting. All right. So once we import the blueprint, if you're not seeing your pages created, it's typically either the file size or you're timing out, and that's why it's not happening. But what happens is when we import these blueprints, the plugin will go create all the pages for the silo level, all the pages for the category level, and in under categories, it'll mirror what was mapped out in the hierarchy on the pages for the silo and the page. and it'll also add all your posts. So all you got to do is come in and turn on and deploy as you finish working on each page. So obviously you're going to publish your silo first, and then you'll publish the category, and then you can publish the children posts underneath that category, and that'll give you the internal silo structure. So another feature that we had, which is super great, which I love, is the anchors silo. And what this does is it allows you to add your ChatGPT API. You can choose your persona, and then you can go basically say suggest anchors. So whatever you tick off here, you say suggest, and it'll go write a shortcode. So if you've got the original, you can basically change the shortcode, and you can change the navigation. What that does is in our copy, under appearances, widgets, you look for any video silo widget, you write find out more. When you drag it in your columns, you'll see find out more and the hierarchy. There's all your internal links automatically done for you. That's all you got to do is just drag it widget into the column if you're using columns. Okay, that does all your internal linkings automatically. So when you bring other pages in that are part of the blueprint and are attached to the blueprint, they will automatically just fall into place where they need to be, which is such a time saver. It's a massive time saver. Between optimizing all the keywords, each anchor, and doing internal linking manually versus dragging a widget in and using anchor silo, that feature in the plugin, you're saving hours of time, hours, thousands of hours, I reckon. To sit and work out what you're going to say for each one, we use the AI to enhance all of this, and then in time we can fine tune and that. But what this does is it introduces anchors in copy. The keywords have got intent in them, and what's nice about that is when we blend the shortcode in between our copy, we get those anchor texts. You can turn the amount of anchors up and down that you want to show. I typically leave them at 10, and over time the content I've exploded out as I flesh it out and make it more to optimize for those 10 keywords. All right, so that's basically the process done. I've imported my keywords and my pages. They're all created, they're all done, widgets are in place, shortcodes are all in place. I add my images, I start turning them on. So for this experiment, we just wanted to see what the pure GALAXIS Blueprint would do with no images, nothing else other than what I just showed you. And this is where we pulled it in, and you can see immediately, bang, it started, and then it crawled, and you can see the impressions. It's liked what it's seeing. The way we designed the content in GALAXIS is to suit the audience that I was interested in. We've given the guys almost like a playbook. Hey, if you need to do this, these are the steps you got to follow. Short and sweet. And what the luxury it gives us is we can turn those short and sweet pages, which they aren't short and sweet, they're decent, into 5,000 page tower pages, especially at our category areas over time. All right. So for the guys who want to jump off this call now, I'm going to end this call right here now. This is where we do our non-ashamed promotion for this workshop. If you want to knock off over $700, grab DMT today. You can go to networkempireframework.com/727 is your promo code. Click on purchase, add your shortcode in. You'll get DMT for $727 less today. That works out to about $3.50 a day. And if you look at what I've just shown you, just on that one project, we've clawed back basically 1,800 in time, 180 hours, just in those 1,000 pages. So guys, take the coupon, smash it, join us. I'm going to show you guys better stuff now in the next workshop. But before you jump off, I'm just going to jump across to DMT, and I want to quickly show the guys what we've been working on. Let's make sure that blueprint's drilled. Okay, everything is done. So yeah, we're looking at a red light stuff. I'm just going to refresh this. There's all my information coming back in. You'll notice that there's no website here. I've basically deleted the previous one, and I just wanted to show you how this works. So I've come into DMT, I've logged in. So I'll go to my existing blueprints. In this blueprint, I came down to red light therapy. I want to change this. So I just came in over here. I edit these keywords. I select my country I want to target. I came in and I opened the blueprint up. I put in one of the competitors' domains. and I'm going to make this a local project. So what I do is I come in over here and I say local. You can choose any type you want, but this is my local website. We're going to sell local things. It's google.com. My brand, all my brand information is all there. I'm happy with that. I open up my domain, and here's all my information. So for my brand summary, GALAXIS is going to build a whole new fresh brand profile for me. I've done a lot of videos on these on other pages at networkempireframework.com, but for each one we have the market landscape, we have our AR frameworks all mapped out, our PRDs for the products. There's our brand data done, here's our competitive analysis done, here's our keyword analysis, and there's our outlines, right? So I need to regenerate a new website. So when I come down to your site structure, we are here at number 2. I'm going to jump over all the analysis and the reports. I'm going to go to site structure silos, and I'm just going to click on GALAXIS over here. Boom. Click OK. GALAXIS will go now and look at all the keywords that I've drilled. There's all my keywords I've drilled into, and it will map out a new website for me over here. So in the next workshop, I'll come back to this and I will show you guys what we did next. Okay, see you guys on the inside. Don't lose the promo, guys. It's only for this next 4 days. Grab that Smash 727, get $700 off Digital Marketers Toolbox, $3.50 a day. You can see now shortly what I'm going to do in the next video when we carry on, how we're going to basically generate the scheme in a few seconds, and I'll show you how I do the click cycle of the click path, the 10-click work week, and you'll see how quick that process is. We'll step away, we'll jump back into the next workshop. I'll talk about on-page copy and then what we do on top of it to make it sell better, because we have to start thinking in funnels, and I think you'll love it. So I'll see you guys in the next workshop.